What is up, everyone? Welcome to the FPL Gameweek 2 podcast. My name is Ryan from the Football Chatbox, and I'm joined by Roy. How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I guess football is coming home, eh?
Depends on which country you're watching it from. But yeah, we just finished watching the semi-finals of the Women's World Cup. Fair play to the Matildas, coming all the way until the semi-finals, so they should be proud of themselves. But yeah, England did take the win, and so we'll see England versus Spain finals. Who do you think is going to win that game?
No, I think England's got too much momentum now.
Okay,
I think they're just gonna win it. I
all right.
think that's why I said football is coming home, right? Is I think it is
The
the
English
the, the,
term.
the English guys can't make it, and I
Yeah,
think the ladies is gonna make it happen.
yeah. I mean, they won the Euros as well, right? The ladies.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. So I
And
guess
Russo is playing for Arsenal women's team, so
yes.
I got someone to support.
Fair enough. All right. So a lot to see on Sunday, but for now we're going to be discussing of game week 2. So I've got up the fixtures. I've got a season ticker first. But in general, what do you think about game week 1?
It's kind of going the way sort of people expect it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like the big teams won, and Arsenal, his City won easily. Chelsea, Liverpool, I mean, Spurs, United, kind of is what people expected. I heard United is quite lucky to get a win,
Yes, I would agree with that.
but I suppose it's still a big team, and 3 points is 3 points, and after two more games, and people's not going to talk about
Yeah,
the
that's true.
game one anymore.
Exactly. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so I've got the season tick up for game week 2 to game week 8. The reason I've got it until game week 8 is because of the international break.
International,
Yeah,
yeah.
the second international will be after game week 8. So Chelsea right on top of the ticker, followed by Everton. Spurs, whose run is about to get good. We'll have to see. Game week 2 could be a bit of a tricky one. Then there's City, Villa, Brentford, United, Arsenal, Liverpool, and all the way at the bottom we got Burnley, West Ham, and Bournemouth. For those listening on the podcast audio version, we just got the season ticker up from the members area of the Fantasy Football Scout. But we're going to be talking about the fixtures, and I've got the fixtures right up from Forest, Sheffield United, all the way to Crystal Palace, Arsenal. But let's actually start with the Crystal Palace Arsenal game because, okay, let's set the scene. So, Timber unfortunately injured with the ACL injury, which could see him out for a couple months.
Actually, no, it could be
no?
out for the whole season.
Oh, wow.
I think it's bad. If it's ACL,
Yeah.
2 months is not enough. I actually think at least half the season is gone.
Yeah, I was assuming until December at least.
At least.
Yeah.
I mean, he needs surgery.
Okay,
and
so that's going to be
with
tough.
surgery, it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, I did see some rumors about Arsenal being linked with Cancelo, but I don't know if City are going to sell. We'll have to see. Because it's obviously close rivals, so we'll see what happens. But Gabriel benched in the first game for Ben White starting in his position and Thomas Partey. Now let me actually bring. This is where I wanted to bring SofaScore up because that'll help us a lot in terms of understanding the formations and everything. And just for people on the audio, where I'm just showing SofaScore and just looking at the formation that the team played for Arsenal with Ben White and Saliba in the centre back, Timber on left back, and Thomas Partey right back. Now, do we expect Gabriel to come in here, or do we expect Tomiyasu to take Timber's spot? Because Tomiyasu is the one who came on for Timber.
I think he'll come back. I think game one is Forest, and I don't think Arteta he thinks he could rotate the team a little bit, experiment a little bit, because he wants to get those three new boys to play in the first game, and it'll be quite hard if Gabriel plays, and because Partey will have to go, but he wants to keep Partey. So this is actually a 3-4-3. Partey spent most of the time in the midfield anyway. I just think that's the whole reason. Ben White, Saliba, and Timber. If Timber doesn't play, Gabriel will play there. but he wants the three new boys to start the first
fair
game.
enough. Okay.
And I think Gabriel had a little injuries before the game as well. So he's probably have that in mind, and he will come back in the second game, no doubt.
Fair enough. There's a question from Ian, and I saw this rumor as well about Gabriel to Saudi League.
Which one?
Gabriel.
No way.
No. Okay.
No. It's no chance. No, especially if Timber's injured now.
Yeah.
There's no chance. I mean, even Tierney might stay.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So we're expecting anyone who has Gabriel, I would probably hold in that case.
Yeah, I'll think so.
Yeah.
It depends on Zinchenko if he's back or not. I mean, he's not injured, but he's lacking a bit
match fitness.
I think.
Doesn't say on here, and we obviously had to. He wasn't on the bench, so we'll have to wait and see from Arteta if he has anything from the press conference news.
I do think Prasad gonna have to come in, but now you just don't know because Arteta is playing this sort of mystery, get people guessing, get the opposition's guessing who's gonna play, which is good tactics because last season everyone knows who Arsenal would play. Yeah. But this year, I think he would just keep people guessing, keep us guessing at the same time. It is interesting, but Saka will play.
Yeah, that. Yeah. So Saka and Odegaard we know will play because Odegaard captain and Saka doesn't really have competition in his spot.
Yeah.
The others
now even keeper now
exactly.
is not secured anymore. So it's interesting times, but our bench is quite strong. I think Arsenal is gonna do well this season.
Okay.
Timber's injury is really, really unfortunate.
Yeah, that's the thing. All right, so if you have Gabriel, hold, because I think Crystal Palace is still a good fixture. Let's switch back to the fixtures. Crystal Palace is still a good fixture because if I remember correctly, last season they were pretty bad at set pieces. So and Gabriel in general is pretty good in the air as well. So I think he will be a good option.
Yeah.
Having said that, so that's Arsenal. Let's move into the Chelsea game. Now, there's a question from FPL Chairman that says, what do you think to having 3 Chelsea assets for the next 5 game weeks? Now, we did have a look at their season ticker. Let me just pop that. With West Ham, Luton, Forest, Bournemouth, I would even say Aston Villa and Fulham, and even Burnley, to be honest. The next 8 itself is like pretty good in general.
Yeah.
So would you, I guess, if you had Gabriel and you didn't, let's say you were still uncertain on whether he was going to start or you didn't know, and if you had the 0.5 maybe, I guess now 0.6, would you move to like a Chilwell?
Yeah, I would. I would. I
Okay.
would. I mean, that as you just show us, and the next 6 games are pretty relatively easy.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking because we saw like Chilwell's attacking positioning in the game and actually switching back to SofaScore to try and bring up the Chelsea positioning. This is where SofaScore is pretty useful. We go to Chelsea, go lineups, and then I'm going to bring in player average position. This is Ben Chilwell. Pretty forward out wide. Probably the second furthest forward player in that Chelsea lineup.
He's taking set pieces as well.
Yes, that's the thing. So I think Chilwell's a really good option. But apart from Chilwell, where would you go? What did you think? Did you see the Chelsea game or?
No, I didn't, but I saw the report.
Yeah. So
yeah, you don't know, right? Because it's a new team. After one game, you can't really draw conclusions on anything.
That's true. I would agree with that. Now, obviously, they've signed Caicedo and Lavia by the looks of it. So I'm expecting those two to also come. Let me go back to the.
But what's the waste of money? I mean, you spend all that money on 2 players playing the same position.
See, that's what I was thinking, right? But then there's also the possibility because you look at the midfield now, right? It's pretty empty, or like there's not enough presence, I would say, in the midfield.
Yeah.
So I've seen like online people been talking about you play Lavia and Caicedo in like the pivot, the both of them, and then you have like Enzo Fernandez, or even like you play like a number. No, you don't play Lavia in the pivot. You play like Caicedo in the pivot with Lavia and Enzo Fernandez as number 8s. So that would probably give Enzo Fernandez also possibly a bit more freedom, possibly.
Yeah, true. Because you look at Enzo, he's probably like a deep line midfielder, control the play.
Yeah.
And whereas Casado and Navi are probably like proper defensive midfielders.
Yep. So this is Enzo's heat map. Like he's pretty involved. And he's only 5 million in FPL.
But he is not, he's not a good FPL asset though.
For now, we don't know.
I can't see him because the position he played for Argentina is pretty much at the back as well.
Yeah.
He might, but I just don't see him. I see two defensive midfielders at the bottom of the midfield. Because Lavia will be a sub for Casado. I can't see those two play at the same time because they're the same type of players. Which is funny why they spend so much money on two players that are similar.
Well, I guess they need depth as well. That's the other problem. And I don't know.
think it's the depth.
Yeah.
Well, they got another 50 players on the bench.
They've also signed, or potentially signed, Olise.
Oh.
So he could play on the left. That's a possibility as well now. So first, I don't know where Chelsea are getting all of this money, by the way, but they're signing players. So we'll have to wait and see. I think Chelsea, there's still a lot to kind of unlearn from Chelsea. And for now, I still think Chilwell is probably the best option. In second, I would probably go for a Reece James or a Jackson, one of the two. But I wouldn't triple up until we kind of see how this, like the rest of the Chelsea players integrate and everything.
How is that defensive play? I mean, they conceded 2 goals against Liverpool.
Yeah. So that first half, I watched the game in the first half. And what happened in the first half was they lined up in this like the wing back formation with Gallagher and Enzo over here.
Yeah.
But Chukwuemeka, he was played more central, if I wasn't mistaken. So if I can get this average position back up, he was more like involved here most of the time. This you see
because
this red
Chilwell is kind of overlapping him. And
so this red spot appears only because of the second half. So the first half, he was more like central and everything. So it was only Chilwell down that entire flank against Liverpool's Trent, Szoboszlai, and Salah. So because of that, Liverpool had a lot of counters as well. That's why the chances came for Liverpool in the first half. But then in the second half, I think there was a tactical change that got him to move a bit more wide as well. And then there was a bit more balance, and obviously Chelsea took control.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about the defense, to be honest, especially given that you're buying players who are very attacking fullbacks.
Yeah. You see, the real issue is game week 2.
Yeah.
No one's got that much money or the number of transfers to do to get to 3 Chelsea players anyhow.
Yeah.
Unless you work at 1 or 2. I mean, you probably would suggest don't make too many moves in the first few game weeks. If you haven't used any transfer, maybe get 1 Chelsea player in, and that probably should be enough. Then if everything goes well, you get another Chelsea player in game week 3 or something.
Yeah, I probably agree with that, to be honest. Yeah. And yeah, on the topic of Chelsea, Ian says double pivot of Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez at number 10. We'll see. 5 million option at number 10 will be. But I don't know. I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I don't feel like Fernandez is that attacking. I think Gallagher is the more attacking person when he was playing for
Crystal Palace. Yes.
Yeah. he was more get into the box.
Yeah.
Like the proper number 8,
Mm.
but go into the box, attack the ball.
Yeah.
And I can't see Enzo doing that.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just looking at the chats as well and trying to like get involved in like whatever people are saying in terms of. So there was another question with regards to now, just on the topic back again of this is where is this? Just going back to the Arsenal topic, because we didn't fully touch on Crystal Palace, but if you had Eze, right? This is from TGG. Bit of a dilemma right now. Would you start Eze versus Arsenal? Or he says Solanke versus Liverpool. We'll get to Liverpool, but what do you think about Eze versus Arsenal?
If Arsenal is on form,
Mm-hmm.
Palace will have no chance. But I think I think people can see from the second half of Arsenal game, I think the fitness level dropped. So we're not 100%. So Arsenal is not 100%. All the players are not 100%. They're still trying to get to 90%, 80%. I think the first half against who do we play again? Can't play out of my head. Who do we play the first game?
Played Sheffield. Forest.
Yeah, Forest. Yeah, first half we were smashing them like 80-something% possession. The second half we let them get back into the game because our fitness level. That's the reason for it. So Palace at home, do you know what? They have a chance as he's got all the set pieces as well. He's definitely got better chance to score points than Solanke against Liverpool. 100%. Liverpool at home is you don't go to.
Yeah, fair enough.
You don't go there, Anfield, and trying to get the win or draw. It's hard.
Yeah, I would probably go for Eze as well. I would start him and see how things go because I know Bournemouth have slightly gotten better, but it's still Liverpool at home. And again, never know with Crystal Palace. They are a pretty decently attacking team under Roy for some reason.
Didn't Liverpool beat them 7-1 last year?
The Bournemouth team 9-0. I think that was the game. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a different Bournemouth team, but or different manager, but yeah, it's still like Liverpool at home. So I still wouldn't risk it too much. And also mentioned by Ian as well, the XG thing. I've got the team attack here. Forest had where was Forest? Expected goals 1.18 XG against Arsenal, which is pretty good.
Well, because I think Johnson missed a 1-on-1 in the first half.
Yeah.
And they score a goal, and that's how they get 1.18. And Arsenal's goals are pretty sort of
far off, which is why the 0.83.
A wonder goal from Saka and something in the box, right? So that explains why
it's very low as
why
well.
That is, yes.
Yeah. But that explains really good defending from Sheffield United, to be honest. And I wanted slightly since I bought up Sheffield United. And sorry, not Sheffield United. That's defended by Forest. My bad. Do you have Turner in your squad by any chance?
I do. He's playing.
Okay.
He's playing.
Yes, that's what I wanted to ask. Starting Turner in Game Week 2.
Yeah, I think Sheffield, they have no threat in terms of attack. So
yeah, let me actually check. Yeah, exactly. Look at that. 0.51 early in the first game. So I am actually happy to start Sheffield United. I'm happy to start Turner against Sheffield United. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I got Jason still on the other as bench. They're playing against Wolves, and Wolves, I think they play pretty well against United.
Exactly. I would go for Turner in this case. Even for those who have Onana, including myself who has Onana, I would actually go for Turner to start.
Yep. 100%. I agree.
Yep. Fair enough. Shout out to Quinton as well in the chat and also Simon. All right, now on to, and also someone's asking, where do we get all these charts? So this is from the members area of Fantasy Football Scout. So So that's where we get it. So if you want to join Fantasy Football Scout members area, links in the description. All right, now Villa versus Everton. How do you see this? Now, obviously, Villa played a high line. Mings is injured. Villa got exposed for that high line. For some crazy reason, Everton, where is this? 2.73 XG in the first game against Fulham. Obviously, Neil Maupay can't finish for some reason. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin, whether he's going to start or not is a question. But if you had a Villa defender, I think a lot of people bought in a Villa defender. Do you have a Villa defender?
I had Mings.
Oh, you had me. Oh no.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
I swap with a Spurs defender.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So
That's okay. I mean, it happens, right?
No, would you start a Villa defender if you had against Everton?
I would.
Yeah, fair enough.
I would, because Everton really didn't do much in the transfer market, and I watched the game Villa against Newcastle. I think first half they were pretty even, and Diaby is actually playing really, really well. Watkins as well. So I think Villa will win.
I expect Villa to win actually this game.
Yeah.
At home, they will bounce back after that hammering that they got in the first game.
Yeah, missing a central defender is a worry.
Yeah,
but I think they'll be good enough to win at home.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's move to City Newcastle. Big game in terms of captaincy as well. But the first one was from Quinton, that he regards to Phil Foden. Now, obviously, we've seen KDB injured. And it seems like he's probably out as well for a long time. He's ruptured his hamstring, if I'm not mistaken, again. There's rumors of, I guess, Paqueta probably from West Ham, signing West Ham. I don't know. They're just rumors that they're going to sign him or not. But would you, if you had, well, you don't have. Do you have Foden? I don't think you have Foden.
No.
So I have Foden. And obviously they're playing the Super Cup later today. So that we'll have to see what that lineup is like. But I would probably keep Foden for this game. So I don't think Foden will start the Super Cup. I don't mind him. I think he will probably start the Newcastle game though.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
So I would probably keep Foden. As the question was related to, would you go Foden to Diaz for game week 2? And the thing with Diaz is, when we get to Liverpool, but I feel like there's too much rotation in Liverpool in those certain spots. Obviously, there's rotation with City as well, but I feel like with the injury to KDB, I feel like Foden might be a decent pick to keep and hold.
True. And if you already have Salah, you don't really need to get Diaz, right?
No, if you have Salah, you don't have to get Diaz. But if you don't have Salah, I guess we'll when we come to Liverpool, we'll see. But if you don't have Salah, that's the question. You didn't have Stones. Hopefully not.
No.
Okay. I don't know who else had Stones. I think someone else in our panel team had Stones. Must be Karan. If y'all have Stones, I will probably hold, because Pep said that Stones was like, he picked up like a niggle before the game in game week 1.
Okay.
So he thinks he might be back for a Newcastle game, but we'll have to wait and see on press conferences. But for those who have Stones, I would probably keep Stones as well for the moment until press conference news.
Yeah. I have Bernardo Silva. So.
Yeah. So his good news is he's signed a contract apparently, or going to sign a contract for Man City. But you said he's sick. Did you say?
Well, at the moment, it's 75% chance to play.
Okay, maybe something that Pep said in the press conference for the Super Cup. I don't know.
Which means maybe he's not playing the Super Cup and will play against Newcastle.
Yeah, I won't be surprised.
He played the 90 minutes. He played the 90 minutes first game. So.
Yeah, I would expect him to play Newcastle, but we'll have to see again press conference news. So if you have him, keep him. I think he's fine. Which leads us, I guess we'll get to Liverpool as well, but let's talk about the captaincy in this part. Haaland or Salah for captaincy? Assuming
Trent.
you have Salah and Haaland both.
Trent.
That's not an answer. Let's say you
I
had.
don't have Salah.
Yeah, exactly. But if you had Salah or Haaland, who would you go for?
I'll go Salah for
Yeah.
sure. This one, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I have Salah, and I would go for Salah probably as well over Haaland. I know it's Haaland, and it could be tough when, this is back in again. Still, Haaland will most likely be the most captain player in this game for this game week. But I think that Liverpool game is worth risking it for just to see whether Salah can do well.
It's too good to miss.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. I'm willing to do it as well. Yeah, and if people are scared, you can go Haaland. That's not a problem. Now,
But do you see Haaland score 2-3 goals though?
In this game? I don't think so. I don't want to now obviously jinx it, but I don't think so.
So the risk really isn't much. Like, let's say if Captain Salah and Haaland score 1.
Yeah.
And so what?
Yeah, exactly. If he scores 1, it's fine. It's not too bad.
When
he
That's why I'm captaining Trent.
Okay, so now here's the thing. You're captaining. Okay, that's a good question because people will have Trent. If you had Trent, would you captain Trent over Haaland?
I would. I seriously would, because he's gonna be a clean sheet first of all.
You hope so.
And if they smash 6 or 8,
yeah,
he's only game week 2.
Yeah.
You can afford to gamble a little bit.
Fair enough. I would agree. All right, I don't mind it. If you have a Liverpool player, if you have a Liverpool player that is either Salah or Trent, because we know they're going to get minutes, apart from maybe like a Jota, Darwin, or Diaz, that's where I'm slightly concerned about minutes. And when you have a Liverpool player who is risky in terms of minutes, then I probably won't put the armband on them. But if you have anyone else who is like guaranteed minutes from that Liverpool, like a Trent or a Salah, then I don't mind it. But yeah, I think Newcastle will give a tough game for this City team.
Yeah,
even though City at home.
I think Newcastle's informed.
Yeah,
they're the most informed team, I believe.
Yeah, so I think they will do well. There's mentions from Leaway about Liverpool's last 9-0 win that didn't include a Salah return.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So let's just hope that doesn't happen this time. But yeah, all right. Now, since we touched on Liverpool, you have Trent, not looking to bring in any Liverpool players, I guess, apart from Trent. For those looking to bring in a Liverpool player, right? Assume they don't have either. They don't have any Liverpool player. Where
do they need to get one?
That's a good question. I don't think it's a must-have a Liverpool player in this game as well. Now, Bournemouth, I saw the Bournemouth highlights against West Ham, and Bournemouth had a lot of chances. Now, but the one problem with that is I don't know whether that's Bournemouth being really good or whether that's just West Ham giving too many chances up. So I still might want to see a bit more data from Bournemouth before I kind of go and tell that this Bournemouth is a really good team.
They're gonna have to go defensive against Liverpool. You go to Anfield, you don't go and attack Liverpool.
No, probably not. But they'll have to keep it tight. Now the question is, which Liverpool player do you go and get? Do you go for Luis Diaz, a Jota, or even a Darwin? And Darwin didn't start, but I won't be surprised if he does start this game.
Yeah, who knows, right?
Yeah, and
but the one you do know for certain is Trent and Salah.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to have Liverpool asset, it's gonna have to be these two, because Trent price is like a premium midfielder.
Yes,
that's how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, fair enough. 8 million.
I'm getting Trent because it's just a premium midfielder. That's it. Nothing more.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? And the problem is you can't get to those players now. It's not easy to get to those two players. So
it's impossible to have two in the same team.
No, yeah.
And Haaland.
Yeah.
I tried that. It didn't work.
You just got looking pretty bad if you did. If I was to go for a Liverpool player, So hard to tell who, because everyone is risky.
Exactly.
I would still slightly lean towards Jota, but then if Darwin is going to play, or if we think Darwin plays, then Jota's position is gone. Probably, or he goes to the left and then Diaz is benched. So I don't know. I think you take a gamble with this one if you really want to bring a Liverpool player. But honestly, I might even just skip it and hope for the best,
Yeah. I wouldn't spend a transfer to get a new additional Liverpool player in. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. All right. Cool. That's Liverpool Bournemouth. Just checking to see whether I missed any questions. Quinton says don't have Salah. Ian says don't captain Trent because Bournemouth had 1.37 xg against West Ham. Yeah, that's a point.
Different opponents, different tactics, and once you play against teams that put 10 players in the box, then is not much Salah can do.
Yeah, fair enough. And then okay, so that's Liverpool. We'll go to Spurs versus United. Now, United looked pretty bad against Wolves, like horrible. They didn't even deserve to win, to be honest. Maybe a draw would have been a fair result. But you take the 3 points and you run away, obviously. It's what you call daylight robbery, and that was daylight robbery. But they're playing Spurs.
Oh, Spurs is pretty. I actually think Spurs play much more organized, much more attacking than last year. That's why I brought in
Udogi, yes.
He's playing this invert sort of fullback.
Yes.
He's been doing that the whole game. He didn't really get involved too much chances, but he is actually always there. Near the box.
He's near the box a lot, yes, as you mentioned it. Destiny Udogi. Look at that. Let me bring this up here.
He's almost in attacking side. So that's the reason I brought him in, replace Mintz.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a good player. He's gonna keep Perisic out of that position. Perisic is more like a winger now. So he played the whole 90 minutes as well. I just think he could be a potential good asset.
Yeah, I think Udogi is a really good. By looking at the season heat map of Udogi, I mean not season heat map, like just last game week's heat map, and he's very involved in the opposition attacking half of the this thing. So I think with the turn of fixtures that are coming for Spurs in like game week 3 onwards, could be a really good option to play. So yeah, Udogi, I think pretty good option. If you don't have him, I wouldn't really bring him in for this game because I think this is a really good game for both sides to score goals, to be honest.
I just didn't have a choice. I need to bring someone in because I don't want Main's price to drop.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense because going forward, the rest of the fixtures is still pretty good to have. Now, there's a question with regards to what to do with Luke Shaw in this game. If you had a United defender, I guess this depends on like team specific as well. If you can bench a United defender, I might maybe, but I feel like Luke Shaw also has attacking returns in this possibility.
Agree. Depends on your alternatives, right? Who do you have as alternative? Your alternative are good fixtures, then maybe bench, sure. But if not, then as you said, then he's got potential to score points because he's going to be an open game.
Exactly. Would you sell Shaw if you had the opportunity? No.
To bring who to like with what a Chelsea player? Maybe.
Yeah, probably Chilwell.
Yeah, if you can, then yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If you've got there's no other urgencies, then that would be a good move.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, if there's no other urgencies, Luke Shaw, Chilwell, probably. Although I still feel like the fixture in Game Week 3 is still pretty good for United because they have Forest after that. So I think Game Week 3 is fine for United defense. Maybe not this Game Week, but yeah.
Just sell before Arsenal game.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think there's a clean sheet in that one for sure. Now, we answered the Onana or Turner question in this one. I would start Turner ahead of Onana, and I have Onana as well. I'm going to bench him in this game because I don't think both sides are keeping a clean sheet. And then Josh is mentioning Emerson Royal's positioning was insane. Just got to see how Romero fits back in. Yes, so now Romero, I think, got subbed out for an injury. Now, I don't know if that's a concussion injury or not, because if it was, then he might be out for this game because of concussion protocol, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think Spurs, very attacking team in general. Maddison looked really good.
Yes.
Would you even think of bringing for those who had the money to go bring Maddison in this game week itself?
From who though? Like who are you replacing?
Let's say, okay, if they had Foden, would you replace straight to Maddison or keep Foden for one more game week?
Oh, yeah, not this game because it's United. So United defense is still pretty good.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I think it's still a pretty decent defense, to be honest. Even though they conceded a lot of XG, I think that is also due to the fact that Martinez came off in that first half because of he was on a yellow card. So I think that does obviously change everything in terms of defense as well. So I still think United's defense is pretty good. I still would bring a Spurs player from game week 3 onwards.
Yeah,
I would
agree.
I would not go straight away into this week for the Spurs player. But if you have a Spurs player, you can start them like an attacking player. And then just go in game week 3. I think game week 3 is the time when a lot of people will look to bring Spurs players. There was a question with regards to Rashford and captaincy. I don't know if I'll captain Rashford though against Spurs, even though there's a possibility for goals.
Not in this game, no.
And if let's say you didn't have a Liverpool player and you had to choose between Haaland and Rashford, then you captain Haaland, right?
Yeah. You would do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I've answered a couple alternative scenarios. All right. In terms of Bruno Fernandes. Okay, this is another one. Bruno Fernandes. Would you keep Bruno Fernandes for this game or sell him for a Maddison? Or even a Liverpool player potentially. But the Liverpool player is uncertain. That's the only problem.
Well, at this stage of the season, you probably want to play a long term. You play long term rather than short term, right?
Yeah.
Still early stage, game week 2, and it really wouldn't change much.
Yeah, agree.
Generally, just don't change much unless you have to, unless injuries, so you have to stick to what you have and make minor changes. Is what I think people should do.
I agree. I think even if you had Bruno, and obviously he didn't do well in the first game, I think this is a good game for United in general for attacking returns potentially, because Spurs will leave chances at the back. They'll consider a lot of opportunities. And it could help United as well. Now, obviously, they didn't look good against Wolves, but I think this game could suit them because they could counter on this game. So I would probably keep United attacking options for this game.
Yeah.
There's a question says Maddison's price may go up, so it would be worth going to him. Then you can switch back to Foden if needed. I don't know if I would do the hokey cokey of switching just because of price rise. Probably wouldn't do that though, because I think that you lose a transfer which could be very useful later. Unless obviously if you're not certain on Foden, then maybe, but I still would wait until game week 3.
But on the other side of the coin, I mean, if you look long term, and Spurs have got a good manager.
Yes.
I still don't like the team, but they have a good manager. And Kane's not there anymore. Son will be the focal of attack, and Maddison will be pulling the strings behind them. Rather than, because if Harry Kane's still in the team, Harry Kane will still be the one coming back to number 10, get the ball, move the ball. But now the ball all goes to Maddison.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I think if you really want to play long term, then Maddison might be a good choice.
Yeah.
To be fair, at this stage.
Yeah.
I don't want him to do well, but I think from a neutral perspective, Maddison might be a good asset.
Yeah, I think that's what I agree with that. Richarlison, I don't know about Richarlison. I think I might not. I think I still prefer Madison first over Richarlison, even though Richarlison is 0.5 cheaper. Because he, like you said, everything is going to go through Madison in terms of creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the Wolves versus Brighton game. Stupid and owners very unlucky to not get any more attacking returns from this game. Brighton looking good in general. High XG as well. They created 4.0 XG from this game.
Ooh. Yeah.
So we're expecting Brighton to continue to do well in this game, even though they are playing against Wolves, who looked better. I still think Brighton will come away well in terms of points and whatnot. This is maybe a bit. I guess it's too early to answer this question, but Estupinan, we know fixtures for Brighton will turn for the worse. From, if I'm not mistaken, where is it? Game week 4 onwards. But I think there's probably a case to be made to maybe try and find a way to rotate Estupinan as well, if possible, instead of just selling him off. And I guess this is where Udogie comes into play as well, because Udogie has 3 good fixtures. When Estupinan has Newcastle and United as well.
Yeah. Did Caicedo play the first game?
No, I don't think so.
He didn't play.
Yeah, I think that Brighton are anyway just generally in fine without Caicedo.
I think losing him is a big blow. Even though they probably saw that coming and they probably planned for that anyway. I just feel like losing him is a huge impact to the team.
We'll have to wait. Well, him and McAllister are both gone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the confirmation of him going to Chelsea would have some sort of impact in the dressing room, and I don't know. I'm just talking out loud here, and Wolves seems playing against pretty well against United. So, who's the new manager?
The Wolves manager.
New manager, yeah.
The previous Bournemouth manager, who got sacked at the end of the season.
Something O'Neill?
Yeah, O'Neill. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. I think
it's a new manager bounce, right?
You could say that, yes. But they seem very drilled against United. But I still think Brighton is like a significantly better attacking team at the moment. And I think Brighton should do well in this game. Now, moving, since there's no questions for Brighton as well. The final game, Brentford versus Fulham. You have Visa, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh, no.
I have Mbomo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I probably start Brentford players, right, in this game?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I have him playing, yes, against Fulham, yes.
Yeah, fair enough. I would probably start any Brentford players. It defends. Would you start a Brentford defender though, like Rico Henry in this game?
It depends on your
alternatives.
Your team. Yeah. I mean, who's your alternative?
Yeah.
I mean, if I have to, I have to. If you've got your Liverpool defenders, your Arsenal defenders, your Brighton defenders, then you probably don't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fair enough. If you have it, but yeah, Brentford, this is a good fixture for Brentford as well, in terms of points. If anyone wanted to go and get, so yeah, I think that's.
But do you think they're going to keep a clean sheet?
Who?
What, Brentford? Unlikely, right? Good new goalkeeper.
That is true, and obviously Fulham. I think Fulham generated a lot of XG as well, if I wasn't mistaken. Why is my mouse disappearing? Here we go. Fulham generated 1.5 XG against Everton. Now, it may be slightly big, but I think Brentford are a slightly better team than Everton. I mean, we don't know, but there have been rumors about Mitrovic. Looks like he's going to leave for Saudi League.
Well, he hasn't played anyhow.
Yeah, so
he will go.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know if they'll keep a clean sheet because Fulham at home are usually better. But I still think in terms of Brentford attacking options, this is a good fixture.
Yeah. If you have them, play them. If you don't spend money to get them.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And also we spoke about Forest in terms of starting Turner. I don't think anyone else from Forest interests us at the moment.
Yeah, well, do you know what? Alenga.
Ah, yes. He moved to Forest.
He's good.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's play like that against Arsenal every week, and he will be a big threat.
He looked very bright when he came on, but the problem
He
with
was
Forest
so
is,
fast.
yeah, their fixtures after that
No
is
good.
United, Chelsea, Burnley, City, Brentford. So it's not a really good run at the moment.
True.
But against Sheffield, if you have the keeper, I don't mind starting him though. Yeah,
True.
but maybe one to keep an eye out for eventually. Yeah. All right. Just a final wrap up on the game week 1 team, like attacking stats and everything. Depends if Brentford are playing 5 at the back or he was. Okay, so I was just reading about a comment on Brentford and their 5 at the back. And with regards to Rico Henry, if Rico Henry is like, if Brentford are playing 5 at the back, yeah. But if Brentford are playing 5 at the back or not, he was great this week because they played 5 at the back. Okay. So if they play a 5 at the back, Rico Henry can go more forward, and then Visa and Mbeumo are more central as well because of that.
Yeah, he's like a wing back, so yeah.
Yeah. So team attack, this is the XG from last game week with Brighton. At 4, Newcastle 3.4, Everton 2.73, Wolves 2.35, Brentford 2.2, United 2.21. So created a lot of XG regardless of like, even though they were pretty bad. So I think the Spurs game will be a pretty good one, to be honest.
It's a pretty open game.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is going to be an open game, goals both sides most likely. And then at the bottom, obviously got Burnley, Sheffield United, Arsenal, but we expect them to improve.
I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah. And then in defense, the worst defenses at the top: Luton, Villa, Fulham, United as well in the bottom 4 for defense. And then Spurs. I guess that kind of tells you that there's going to be goals in both sides on that one.
True.
And then the best defenses, you got City, you got Crystal Palace. Then you have Forest, Bournemouth, Arsenal, and Brentford. Who did Crystal Palace play again this weekend?
Us.
No. The week before they just passed
Palace.
Yeah. They played Sheffield United. That makes sense. That's why the defense is pretty good. Yeah. All right. Cool. Teams.
85.
85 points. That I managed to get. I think that's pretty decent. And there was a question earlier in the chat from Musi. And sorry that we couldn't get to it, but so just for anyone watching this, we try and bring in questions if they're relevant to the topic we're discussing at the moment. So now that we got to teams, he's got 79 points. And I think even if you got 79, that's pretty good, to be honest. But yeah, 85, this is me. I will most likely roll the transfer because I know Garnacho is a problem. And I don't think he'll start, but I'm happy to even have appearance points off the bench from him. And then probably in game week 3, decide what to do.
Yeah.
That's most likely what I'm going to do. And Captain Salah probably. And then this is you. What are you planning? Oh, actually, let me read the teams for those on the podcast as well. So for me, I've got Onana, Saliba, Chilwell, Estupinan, Salah, Rashford, Foden, Saka, Garnacho, Joe Pedro, and Haaland. And on the bench, I got Turner, Udogi, Archer, and Kabore. So the few changes will be Turner will start instead of Onana, potentially, and I probably move the Arban to Salen. That's my team. And then over to Roy's team, you got Steele in goal, Estupinan, Gabriel, Trent, Rashford, Bernardo, Trossard, Saka, Watkins, Haaland, and Joe Pedro. And then on the bench, you had Turner, Baldock, Mings, and Mbeumo. Now,
7 points.
Yeah, unfortunate. But what are you going to do now in terms of?
So I brought in the Spurs defender Udogi. And he'll be playing
instead of who though?
Let me look at it. No, actually, he's on the bench.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
He's on the bench.
Yeah.
I got Rashford on the bench as well.
Ooh, you're starting
maybe not. I might change that.
Yeah.
So I still got Gabriel playing, Turner as the keeper.
Yeah.
Trent, Estupina, Mbeumo.
Yeah.
Bernardo, Trossard, Saka, Watkins, Haaland, and
Joe
Pedro.
Yeah. Oh, that's why Rashford's on the bench. Ooh.
But I might change Trossard to Rashford.
You don't think
or
Trossard will start?
Bernardo.
Oh, that's the thing with
I really don't know now. I was
Yeah.
so sure at the start of the season he will play the first game.
Yeah, and then
He didn't.
Yep. Fair enough.
But he will be the first sub in.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I'm keeping him for now. See how we go.
Mm.
I think I'll probably put Rashford back in somehow. Change someone else out.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess you wait and see like Super Cup what City lineup is like, and then probably can decide between Bernardo and Trossard. If Bernardo is sick, I guess you play Bernardo on the bench.
Yes. So I'm leaning towards Captain Trent.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be something a bit different.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not going to push it again. Like I think it could potentially return. We'll have to see. And still very early in the season.
Yeah.
I think it's possible to like recover. All right, now we'll end it with the panel team. Let me bring the panel team up. And if anyone wants to put the teams in, now is the time to put your team in before, or any team related questions before we end. And let me bring the panel team up. And the panel team got 76 points. It's got Pickford in goal, Chilwell, Gabriel, Estupinan, Trossard, Saka, Rashford, Diaby, Salah, Haaland, and Joao Pedro. With Turner on the bench, Pau Torres, Archer, and Kabore on the bench as well. For this week, I guess Pickford or Turner, who would you start? Pickford has Villa.
Turner,
right?
Turner.
Yeah. All right. And then do we keep the remaining 11 as it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Armband?
Oh, you decide.
Probably go Salah.
Yeah, 100%. I think so.
Since we have Salah in the team, might as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll probably keep it like that. We bench Pau Torres, or I guess would you start Gabriel ahead of Pau Torres or Trossard ahead of Pau Torres?
Yeah, I'll play Trossard. I think Trossard might get a start.
Yeah. Fair enough. There's a question. Someone benched Mbeumo as well. Josh also benched Mbeumo like you. There's a question about Amit from Amit. Chilwell for the armband against West Ham.
What? Oh, okay.
Ben Chilwell.
That's...
I'm
probably not.
No, I think
unless you don't have Salah.
Yeah, if you don't have like a Salah or a Liverpool player or Haaland, then maybe. But I still would go Haaland. Yeah, because I think Chilwell against West Ham. You never know with West Ham. They're one of those teams that can score one goal and still look pretty bad.
Yeah, I feel like it's a too big a gamble there.
Yeah. Fair enough. Someone saying Salah to be benched. I don't think so, but we'll see. If we get any news like that on the deadline stream, obviously we'll react to it on the deadline stream. Okay, cool. We'll keep it like this and roll the transfer for Game Week 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good.
If anyone has like any team questions later, put it in the comments and I'll read it on the comments and comment back to you guys on the video as well. So shout out to everyone who watched. To Simon Arnold, Amit, Josh, VL. From VL question: would you keep Richarlison? I think if you have Richarlison, you keep him. Because regardless, like if you have good players from good teams, you keep them probably. Yeah, and then thank you to everyone else who joined, and I'll see you all for the deadline stream this Friday night kickoff. And until then, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.
Have a good night.
Good night, all.
Bye.